What we could say, though, is we pick one emotion, and it's like a rainbow of colors within it. So, like, let's say, for example, you had the emotion of desperation at the top of the scene. Well, you can have a moment where you're pissed off. You can have a moment where you're filled with hopelessness. You can have a moment where you have a despair. It's still under your umbrella of desperation. Otherwise, you're going to come off as schizophrenic because you're kind of bouncing back and forth, and you're insane. On the other hand, you can be, if you just sort of trust and sort of see where this thing's going to go, rather than kind of making sure that you bring hopelessness here, despair here, sadness here. At this point, when you just let go in the scene, you don't know where it's going to go. Remember, it's a two-step process. You can prepare by saying what you just said to me. This is kind of the vibe I want it to go. He's going to be really kind of angry here. But it's not necessarily that he's changing his emotion. Just think of it more of as like different shades, different colors within your same emotion. Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. I've never heard it put that way before. But yeah, within that particular color, you can have different shades.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you'll overanalyze all the time, and then it's no longer fun. You obsessively go, okay, on this line, I need to be here. On this line, and then because it kills the fun of acting to me, because you're obsessively analyzing. And instead of, okay, my emotion in the scene is, let's just say it's anger, let's say it's desperation. Okay, so we do the scene with anger or desperation, whichever one you pick, and within it, it's like a shade, it's different shades. And it should give you a sense of freedom, because you don't have to worry anymore. Like, it's as long as it's under the same emotion, know. Now, you do it a few times, and I'll give you a note, and we'll talk about it, and then you'll make the adjustments. But by the time we just execute the scene, because I can see that, is what I'm saying, is I can see you going, I gotta be angry here, I gotta be hopeless here, and I can see little chapters in your scene, and that's not what we want. We want it to just see where it's gonna go. And you don't know where it's gonna go because supposedly the scene hasn't happened.
Okay, all right.
But again, it's way harder to do what I'm asking you to do because I'm asking you to have a tremendous amount of faith and courage. And not, well, because I'm asking you not to edit. I'm asking you not to adjust if you, as James, think it's not going right. You can't give in to the urge to fix it because it's too late. Because that will be fake.
Because I'm already in it.
You're in it.
And if I'm in the moment, I don't know where it's going to go. Like when this guy was giving this was talking, he didn't know where it was going to go. It's just he kind of followed wherever his emotions led him to. So I have to do the same thing.
Well, that's the way it would be in any scene. Whether it's him, any scene, you have to just the principle is wherever you are in the moment is where you are. When we execute a scene, I'm saying. Remember, acting is a two-step process. There's the preparing, where you're like learning the steps in a dance, or learning the notes on the guitar, where it's going to be like pushed. It's not going to feel easy because I'm learning the notes. But when I just play the song, I can't worry about it anymore. I have to just play. So all I'm doing, in a sense, when I'm acting and I'm executing a scene at this point, when I'm executing it, all I'm doing is reacting to my imaginary scene partner and seeing where it's going to go, because I don't know yet. And hopefully your body remembers to put it in the right place.
Okay. Almost like if you say reacting to my scene partner. So like if the interviewer had like smirked or laughed at a particular part where that was particularly painful to me, I probably would get angry at that.
You might.
And that's not something that I practiced. So just kind of go wherever it leads you, like you said.
You don't know where it's going to go. That's number one. Number two, be careful, because if you're doing it to an imaginary scene partner, you may be tempted to start giving the imaginary interviewer certain looks on his face. So, in a sense, your objective has become to make the interviewer look right so I can react.
Gotcha.
And so you're not in the scene anymore. So again, you're going to have to just sort of trust that your brain and your body will give the correct reaction to the interviewer without you making sure it's there.
Okay.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in a millisecond. You're going to be doing it to this imaginary scene partner, and suddenly, in the midst of a moment, you're going to see him give you a look. It wasn't planned.
Right.
He just gave you a look, a smirk, or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can react to it.
Right.
But again, there's no more, at your audition today, there's no more what it's supposed to be. It's too late. You just react and see where it's going to go, and you see how you are now.
Yeah.
This is what acting should feel like.
Yeah.
It should have, I usually say it's easy and vulnerable at the same time. It should not feel laborious. It should not feel like you're working hard. If it was that, then acting would have died thousands of years ago, because it's not fun.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I like what you said when you said it's too late.
It's too late.
Like once they say action, it's too late. You just gotta go.
Gotta go.
And,
so where you put your brain is not where I should be. Where you put your brain is react.
okay.
Exactly what I'm doing with you now.
Right.
All I'm doing is reacting to you.
Right.
You're causing me to speak. You're causing me to look at you. You're causing me to say what I say.
Right.
I'm, in a sense, causing you to look at me,
Right.
causing you to think, causing you to do this, what you just did there, or look down or look up. But it's all off of either me or a thought that you have, an object, but it's always going to be one of receiving and reacting to something or some body of people or my own thought I can react to. But it's never that I do what I'm supposed to do anymore. Okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do, especially in the beginning stages of this, because you are going to be tempted to fix it, to improve it,
Right.
to make it right, and just know that you're in good company, because we've all gone through this.
Right.
So it's almost a compulsion. A compulsion is like this need to fix it to make sure it's right. I usually use the analogy of somebody who feels like their hands are dirty and they feel like they need to go wash their hands compulsively, even though they're not dirty, and they're making sure they're clean. Well, that's what we do as actors, is we make sure it's right.
Right.
So we fix.
Right.
But you have to, in a sense, allow your hands to be dirty and not wash them.
Because that's where the authenticity comes from.
Pardon me?
Because that's where the authenticity comes from. Okay.
You can't give in to the urge to clean it. You have to just deliver them as is.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Go work on